The icy wind howled across the barren wasteland of Zeta 9, a frozen exoplanet on the edge of human-explored space. Snowstorms raged endlessly, and the surface was nothing but towering glaciers and deep chasms. It was the last place anyone would expect to find life. Yet, Commander Eric Voss and his team were here, chasing a mystery. "Commander, we're getting strange readings from the ridge ahead," said Dr. Lena Carter, the team's lead scientist. She tapped on her wristpad, showing energy spikes on the holographic display. "Something's buried in the ice." Eric adjusted his visor, scanning the terrain. A massive glacier stood before them, its surface smooth but glowing faintly with a strange, blue shimmer. It wasn't natural. Something was inside. "Let's move in," Eric ordered. His team of 5 carefully approached, their boots crunching against the frozen ground. Sergeant Harris, a rough veteran, activated a portable scanner. "There's a solid mass about 10 meters in," he reported. "And, damn, it's humanoid." Eric's pulse quickened. A frozen body. But no human had ever set foot on this planet before. He stepped closer, brushing off the ice with a gloved hand. His breath caught in his throat. Trapped beneath the crystal-clear ice was a woman, but she was not human. Her skin was a soft shade of blue, with delicate bioluminescent veins glowing faintly. Her hair, long and silver, floated around her frozen form as if caught in an unseen current. Her face was peaceful, almost serene, as if she had simply fallen asleep in the ice. She wore a form-fitting suit with intricate symbols, unlike anything Eric had seen before. This isn't possible," Dr. Carter whispered. "She's alien." A rush of thoughts stormed through Eric's mind. How long had she been here? Was she dead? Or could she still be alive? "We need to get her out," Eric said firmly. "Commander, we don't know what she is." Harris protested. This could be dangerous. Eric didn't care. Something about the woman called to him, a strange pull in his chest that he couldn't explain. He clenched his jaw. "We're not leaving her here." Activating their cutting tools, the team carefully melted away the ice. As the final layer cracked apart, the alien woman collapsed forward, right into Eric's arms. Her body was ice-cold, but the moment she touched him, a surge of warmth shot through his skin. His vision blurred, and for a split second, images flashed through his mind. Strange cities, distant stars, a war that felt ancient yet real. Then she gasped. Her eyes, glowing silver, snapped open. Eric's breath hitched. The alien woman stared at him, and in that moment, he knew this was only the beginning. Eric felt the weight of the alien woman in his arms. Her body was cold as ice, yet something inside her still lived. She was breathing, weak, but steady. The rest of the team stood frozen, watching in shock. Dr. Carter was the first to react. "Get her to the medical tent, now." Eric lifted the woman carefully, surprised by how light she was. Her strange, glowing veins pulsed faintly, like a dying ember struggling to stay lit. Every few seconds, her lips parted slightly, as if she wanted to speak but couldn't find the strength. They hurried back to the base, a temporary structure set up on the frozen wasteland. Inside, warm air greeted them, and Eric gently placed her on the medical table. "She's still alive," Carter murmured, running a scanner over the woman's body. "But her body temperature is dangerously low. It's unnatural. No species should survive in this condition." Eric studied the woman's face. She looked almost human, yet completely alien at the same time. Her skin shimmered faintly under the lights, her hair spreading like liquid silver on the table. Who was she? Suddenly, her eyes fluttered open. The team stepped back, but Eric stayed close. The alien woman's silver eyes locked onto his, filled with confusion and something else. Recognition. Her lips moved, forming soft, unfamiliar sounds. The words were musical, like a language made of whispers and echoes. "I can't understand," Eric said gently. The woman frowned, her breathing ragged. Then she slowly raised a trembling hand and pressed it against Eric's chest. A shockwave of warmth burst through him. Visions filled his mind. He saw a sky full of burning stars, cities made of crystal and light, a people beautiful and advanced, but afraid. Then he saw something else. Monstrous shadows, massive creatures with glowing red eyes, devouring entire planets. A war, a desperate attempt to escape. Then nothing. The visions stopped. Eric gasped, stumbling back, his heart pounding. What the hell just happened? Harris barked. Dr. Carter checked her scanner. I don't know, but there was a massive energy surge. The alien woman struggled to sit up, her weak body trembling. But this time, when she spoke, her voice was clearer. You saved me, she whispered. Her accent was strange, but her words were now in flawless English. The team stared in disbelief. How? How do you know our language? Eric asked, his voice barely above a whisper. She placed a hand over her heart. I am Riza Talvun, and I have given you something important. Eric's chest tightened. He already knew he wasn't the same anymore. Something inside him had changed. And whatever it was only the beginning. Eric's heart pounded. The alien woman, Riza Talvun, had just spoken his language, though moments ago she knew nothing of it. And worse, something inside him felt different. What did you do to me? Eric asked, his voice tense. Riza struggled to sit up, her movements slow and weak. She still looked fragile, but her silver eyes held something deep, something ancient. I had no choice, she whispered. You were the first living being to touch me. The bond, it had to be made. Eric exchanged uneasy glances with Dr. Carter and Surgeon Harris. Bond? What bond? Riza took a shaky breath. My people, the Illyrians, had a way of passing knowledge, memories, even power. She placed a hand over her chest. I have been frozen for centuries. My mind, my essence, needed an anchor to wake again. Eric felt his pulse quicken. And you chose me. She gave a slight nod. Now our minds are connected. The words sent a shiver through Eric. He remembered the visions, the burning stars, the war, the shadowy creatures. It wasn't just a dream. It was real. Dr. Carter cleared her throat. You're saying you transferred something to Eric. His brainwaves have changed since he touched you. She glanced at her scanner, then at Eric. You feel different, don't you? Eric hesitated. His senses felt sharper. He could hear the faint hum of the power generator outside, the distant howl of the storm. Even the light in the room seemed brighter than before. I don't know, Eric admitted, but something's happening to me. Sergeant Harris grunted. Great. First, an alien pops out of the ice, and now the commander's turning into one of them. Riza shook her head. No, you are still human, but you now carry a piece of my people's legacy. Eric swallowed hard. What legacy? A shadow passed over Riza's face. She looked down, as if struggling to find the right words. Finally, she spoke. My world, my people, are gone. Her voice was barely a whisper. They were hunted, destroyed. A heavy silence filled the room. By what? Eric asked. She looked up, and for the first time, there was fear in her glowing eyes. The Vrekel swarm, she said. They are coming. Dr. Carter stiffened. And what exactly are the Vrekel? Riza's voice trembled. They are the end of civilizations. They consume worlds, leaving nothing but silence. Eric clenched his fists. If they wiped out your people, why are you still alive? I was chosen to survive, Riza said, to hold the last secret of my kind, the one thing that can stop them. The air in the room grew heavy. Eric looked at her, then at his own hands. Whatever she had given him, it wasn't just memories. It was a weapon. And now, it was inside him. Eric's hands felt numb. The room around him felt distant, like a dream slowly fading. The words Riza had spoken echoed in his mind. The Vrekel swarm. They are coming. Dr. Carter broke the silence. You're saying an entire species, your people, were wiped out by these creatures? Riza nodded, her silver eyes dark with sorrow. Not just my people. The Vrekel have destroyed countless civilizations. They are more than just an enemy. They are a force of nature, unstoppable, endless, merciless. Sergeant Harris crossed his arms. And why should we believe you? For all we know, this could be some alien trick. Riza turned her gaze to him. I wish it were, she said softly. But the truth is far worse than anything you can imagine. Eric exhaled slowly. The vision she had given him. He could still feel them burning in his mind. He had seen the destruction, had felt the terror. This wasn't a lie. They're real, Eric said firmly. I saw them. I don't know how, but I know she's telling the truth. Carter frowned. You mean from when she touched you? Eric nodded. It wasn't just images. It was like I was there, watching it happen. I could feel the fear of her people. I could hear their screams. He looked back at Riza. How long have you been here? Riza closed her eyes for a moment, as if counting the years in her mind. By your measurements, nearly 1,000 years. Harris let out a low whistle. Dan. Carter looked at the scanner again. That would explain the energy readings. Your body wasn't just frozen. It was preserved in some kind of stasis. That means whoever put you here knew you had to survive. Riza nodded. I was chosen. I hold the last secret of my people, the only thing that can stop the Vrekel. A chill ran down Eric's spine. And what is that? For the first time since waking up, Riza hesitated. She looked at Eric, then at the rest of the team. Not here, she whispered. The walls, the air, they may already be listening. Harris stiffened. What the hell does that mean? Riza's expression darkened. The Vrekel are not just mindless beasts. They are something worse. They can sense when their prey has returned. She turned to Eric. And because of what I have given you, they will sense you. The weight of her words hit hard. Eric clenched his fists. Whatever had happened when she touched him, it had marked him. Then we don't have time to waste, Eric said, his voice firm. If they're coming, we need to be ready. Riza nodded. Then we must find it. Find what? Carter asked. Riza's glowing eyes locked onto Eric's. The last weapon of the Illyrians. The only thing that can destroy the swarm. Silence fell over the room. And then, far in the distance, the storm outside howled louder than before. The storm outside raged like a living beast, slamming against the research base with icy fury. Inside, Eric stood frozen, his mind racing. The Vrekel can sense me. The words repeated in his head like a warning bell. He clenched his fists, trying to steady his breath. He wasn't afraid of a fight. But this was something else. Dr. Carter broke the silence. You're saying Eric is marked, that these creatures can find him because of what you did. Riza's silver eyes softened with guilt. I had no choice. If I had not bonded with him, I would have never awakened. And without me, humanity would have no chance. Harris scowled. That's real comforting. Eric held up a hand. Enough. What's done is done. He turned to Riza. Tell me exactly what you gave me. Riza took a slow breath. It is more than just memories. You now carry a fragment of Illyrian energy. A power that once flowed through my people. A power the Vrekel fear. Eric felt a strange heat in his chest, deep beneath his skin. He looked down at his hands. They looked normal, but were they? Dr. Carter grabbed a scanner and ran it over him. Her eyes widened. Commander, your brain activity is off the charts. Neural connections have strengthened, reflex centers have heightened. And your body? She hesitated. It's changing. Changing how? Eric asked. Faster metabolism. Enhanced cell regeneration. It's like your body is adapting to something. Eric exhaled slowly. "And you said the Vrekel fear this power?" he asked Riza. She nodded. "Yes, it is the only thing that ever hurt them. But my people, they were not strong enough to use it fully. Not alone." She looked at Eric, her expression unreadable. "But humans, you are different." Eric frowned. "Different how?" Riza hesitated. "Your kind is resistant, unyielding. Illyrians were intelligent, but we lacked your strength. We were not made for war." Her gaze softened. "That is why I have hope." Harris let out a sharp breath. "Great. So we're supposed to fight an ancient world-eating horror because we're stubborn." Carter rubbed her temples. "We still don't know what we're up against. We need more data." Riza looked at Eric. "The answers are beneath us. The Illyrian relic, our last hope, is buried deep in the ice. That is where we must go." Eric nodded. His path was clear now. But before he could speak, the base lights flickered. Then, a loud boom shook the ground beneath them. The team snapped to attention. Carter checked the scanners, her face paling. "Commander, something's moving under the ice." Riza's breath caught. "No." A second boom, closer this time. Then, a sound that wasn't the wind, a low, guttural, inhuman screech. The Vrekel had found them. The walls of the base shook violently, sending tools and equipment crashing to the ground. Eric steadied himself, his pulse pounding in his ears. "What the hell was that?" Harris barked, gripping his rifle. Dr. Carter checked the scanners. Her hands trembled. "Something massive, right beneath us." Another boom rumbled through the ground, followed by a deep, inhuman screech. The sound crawled into Eric's bones, a noise so alien, so unnatural, that it felt wrong. Riza's face paled. "They are here." Eric grabbed his rifle and turned to his team. "We're moving. Now." The emergency lights flickered as they rushed toward the exit. Outside, the snowstorm howled, but Eric barely noticed. His focus was on the ground, where something dark and massive slithered beneath the ice. Harris cursed. "It's burrowing. Whatever it is, it's coming up." Then, the ice split open. A towering nightmare creature erupted from the ground, its body a writhing mass of black tendrils and razor-sharp limbs. Its skin was dark and pulsing, like living shadows, and its eyes, 6 burning red orbs, locked onto them with pure, unfiltered hunger. "The Vrekel," Riza whispered, her voice full of dread. The creature let out a shriek that made Eric's skull feel like it was splitting open. Then it lunged. "Move," Eric shouted. Harris opened fire, his bullets ripping through the creature's flesh. But instead of falling, the wounds sealed instantly. The Vrekel barely slowed down. "It's not dying," Harris yelled. Eric fired at its glowing red eyes. The Vrekel reeled back, screeching in pain. But then it moved faster, its tendrils lashing out. One wrapped around Harris's leg, yanking him off the ground. "No." Eric ran forward without thinking. His instincts screamed at him, but something else inside him, something new, took over. The energy inside him ignited. Eric felt a burning heat rise from his chest, flowing into his hands. Before he could think, his body moved on its own. He reached out, and light exploded from his palm. A bright pulse of golden energy shot into the Vrekel, sending it flying backward. The tendrils snapped, releasing Harris, who crashed into the snow. The creature screeched, its body smoking where the energy had hit it. For the first time, it looked afraid. Eric stood there, breathless. His hands still glowed faintly, the energy humming beneath his skin. What the hell was that? Harris gasped, clutching his leg. Dr. Carter's voice was shaky. "Commander, you just did something impossible." Eric stared at his hands, feeling the warmth inside him. Then he looked at Riza. She was smiling. "A power of the Illyrians," she whispered. "It has awakened in you." Another screech echoed through the storm, this time from multiple directions. More Vrakel were coming. And now, Eric knew, he was the only one who could stop them. The storm howled, but Eric barely noticed. His heart was racing, his breath coming in short bursts. The glow in his hands had faded, but he could still feel the energy burning inside him, waiting to be unleashed again. Across the frozen wasteland, dark shapes moved. The Vrakel were coming in numbers. Their twisted forms crawled from beneath the ice, their glowing red eyes hungry, merciless. "We need to fall back," Carter yelled, helping Harris to his feet. "No," Riza said firmly. "Running will not save us. Eric must fight." Eric swallowed hard. "Fight? I don't even know what I did back there." Riza stepped forward, her silver eyes filled with urgency. "The energy inside you, it is alive. It will answer if you let it." A Vrakel shrieked and charged. "Eric!" Harris shouted. The creature leaped. Eric's instincts took over. His body moved on its own. His hand shot up, and the golden energy roared back to life, blasting outward. The creature was hit midair, its body burning in the golden light. It screeched in agony before crashing to the ground, motionless. Silence. Then, the rest of the swarm let out a deafening cry. "They fear it," Riza whispered. "The light. It is the only thing that can destroy them." Eric clenched his fists. "Good. Then let's give them a reason to be afraid." The next Vrakel lunged from the left. Eric spun, his body reacting faster than ever before. He threw his hand forward, and a blade of golden light slashed through the creature's chest. It collapsed, its body disintegrating into black dust. Harris fired his rifle, taking down one of the smaller ones. "I gotta admit, Commander, this is one hell of an upgrade." Carter wasn't as confident. "We can't hold them off forever. We need to get to the relic." Riza nodded. "She's right. The true weapon, the core of Illyrian power, is buried beneath us. We must reach it before more come." Eric looked around. The ground was still shaking. More Vrakel were tunneling up. They wouldn't last long if they stayed here. "All right," he said. "We head for the relic. Stay close." Another screech. Another charge. But this time, Eric was ready. The golden fire inside him blazed as he raised his hands, unleashing a wave of pure energy. The Vrakel burned in its path, their screams lost in the wind. Eric's body ached, but he didn't stop. He couldn't. Because he knew this wasn't just a battle for survival. This was the beginning of a war. The battle had bought them time, but Eric knew it wasn't enough. The Vrakel were endless. For everyone he destroyed, more would rise from the ice. "We need to move," he shouted. Riza led them to a narrow passage hidden beneath the snow, an entrance to the ancient Illyrian ruins below. Eric, Harris, and Dr. Carter followed, their boots crunching through the ice as they descended into the dark. The tunnel walls were lined with strange glowing symbols, pulsing faintly as they walked deeper. The further they went, the more Eric felt something pulling at him, a presence deep within the ruins. Carter examined the markings. "This place, it's still active. It has waited for centuries," Riza said, "for this moment." Behind them, the sound of screeches echoed through the tunnel. The Vrakel were coming. "Move faster," Eric urged. The tunnel opened into a massive underground chamber, filled with ancient structures made of smooth black stone. At the center stood a tall monolith, glowing with golden energy. The moment Eric saw it, his chest burned, the energy inside him reacting to the relic. "That's it," Riza whispered. "The heart of the Illyrians." Harris whistled. "Looks important. What do we do with it?" Before Riza could answer, the walls trembled. From the darkness, the largest Vrakel yet emerged. Its body was twice the size of the others, its black armor-like skin pulsing with dark energy. 6 glowing red eyes locked onto Eric, and the air around it shivered with power. Riza's face turned pale. "A Vrakel warlord." The creature let out a deep, rumbling growl. Eric felt cold fear creeping up his spine, but beneath it, something else stirred. The fire inside him. The warlord charged. Eric leaped forward, meeting the beast head-on. His hands flashed with golden light, and as the warlord swung its massive claw, Eric blocked it with his bare hands. The impact sent the Vrekel warlord lunged at Eric with terrifying speed, its razor-sharp claws slicing through the air. Eric barely dodged, feeling the wind of its attack rush past his face. He rolled to the side and threw out his hand, unleashing a blast of golden energy. The light slammed into the warlord, sending it staggering backward. But once again, its dark flesh began to heal instantly. Eric gritted his teeth. This thing won't die easily. Behind him, Dr. Carter and Harris worked frantically at the glowing monolith. The symbols on its surface flashed brighter, and a deep humming filled the air. "It's working," Carter shouted. "Whatever this thing is, it's activating." Riza turned to Eric. "You must connect with the relic. It will unlock your full potential." Eric dodged another deadly swipe from the warlord, then countered with a punch infused with golden fire. The impact sent a shockwave through the chamber, cracking the stone floor beneath them. The warlord shrieked, but it wasn't enough to bring it down. It was adapting. "Go," Harris yelled. "We'll cover you." Eric hesitated for a second, then ran toward the monolith. As soon as he touched it, a blinding light erupted from its surface. Energy poured into him, flooding his body with unimaginable power. His mind expanded. He saw visions of the Illyrians, their struggle, their fall, and their final hope. Him. The Vrekel were created to consume and destroy, but the Illyrian energy was their opposite, pure creation, pure light. The two forces could not exist together, unless Eric became the bridge. He opened his eyes. His entire body glowed like a burning star. The golden energy no longer felt like something separate. It was him. The warlord charged again, its massive form ready to crush him. Eric didn't move. Instead, he raised his hand and willed the light forward. A beam of pure energy exploded from his palm, piercing through the warlord's chest. The creature screeched, its body cracking, splitting apart as golden fire consumed it from within. It thrashed wildly, but this time, it wasn't healing. The dark energy that sustained it shattered, and with one final shriek, the warlord collapsed into dust. Silence filled the chamber. Harris blinked. "Dan." Carter stared at Eric, eyes wide. You just." Eric turned to them, his body still glowing with golden fire. He felt stronger than ever, but he also knew the fight wasn't over. Riza stepped forward. "You have awakened, Eric, but the true battle has yet to begin." Beneath them, the ground trembled again. The final threat was rising. The ground shook violently, cracks spreading across the ancient stone floor. Eric could feel it. Something massive was coming. The golden energy still burned inside him. But deep down, he knew this would be his greatest battle yet. Riza's face was pale. "The Vrekel Prime. It is waking." Carter looked at Eric. "Can you stop it?" Eric clenched his fists. "I have to." The monolith behind him pulsed, feeding him more power. The chamber's walls began to crumble, revealing an enormous black cocoon beneath the ice. It pulsed like a heartbeat, dark energy swirling around it. Then, with a deafening crack, the cocoon split open. A colossal Vrekel emerged, its body covered in jagged black armor, veins of red energy pulsing through its skin. Its 6 glowing eyes burned with pure hatred, and its mouth twisted into something resembling a grin. The Vrekel Prime had awakened. It let out a roar that shattered the remaining walls, sending chunks of stone and ice flying. Eric barely managed to shield his team with a wave of golden energy. Harris cursed. "How the hell do we fight that?" Eric stepped forward. The fire inside him surged. "We don't fight it," he said. "We end it." The Vrekel Prime charged, the ground quaking beneath its enormous body. Eric met it head-on, golden fire igniting around his fists. Their collision sent a shockwave through the ruins, shaking the entire mountain. The creature swung its massive claws, but Eric was faster now. He ducked, leaped, and struck with blinding speed, his fists leaving trails of golden light. Each hit burned into the monster's skin, making it screech in pain. But the Prime wasn't just strong, it was intelligent. It adapted, twisting its body unnaturally, and caught Eric midair with a tendril. It slammed him into the ground, the impact forming a deep crater. Pain shot through Eric's body. The golden energy flickered for a moment. Eric. Ryza screamed. The Prime raised its claws for the final strike. And then Eric heard it. A voice deep inside him. The voice of the Illyrians. You are the bridge. Light and dark. Creation and destruction. Now, become more. Eric's eyes flared gold. His body lifted into the air, his energy no longer just fire, but a full burning sun. The Prime hesitated. For the first time, it felt fear. Eric thrust his hands forward. A massive wave of golden light erupted from him, engulfing the entire chamber. The Prime shrieked as the energy tore through it, burning away its dark essence. It tried to fight, but the light was too strong. With one final, agonized cry, the Vrekel Prime disintegrated into dust. Silence. The storm outside had stopped. The mountain was still. Harris let out a breath. Did we just win? Eric turned to his team, his golden glow fading. He felt exhausted, but deep inside, he knew. The war wasn't over. But today, humanity had won its first victory.